Good morning, it's Sheila from She's a Sassy Lady, and I welcome you to Gypsy Made Simple this morning. And we're going to do another window card. I've got two anniversaries to, actually I have three anniversaries. I already made the 50th, but I have two others, just plain regular anniversaries. One's the 10th anniversary and one's the 12th anniversary. But what I'm going to do is make a window card and make it two up, okay? So I am going to start with close to my heart and just do the simple window card and do that one. I like that one because it's just the right size for a window card. Click on card and card, sorry, right here, and then I put on the real size button right there, and I am going to make the height 5.5 inches. Now notice my width is off a little bit because it gives me an 8.43 and I want a full 8.5, so I'm going to take the little link off and I'm going to change this to an 8.5, so it's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and it's going switching. So anyway, that's what I'm doing on that. And now I'm going to take, and I'm just going to twirl it around because that's how I want to look at it, to make it easier to work with. Now I'm going to go to Martha Stewart Elegant Cakes, I believe is what it's called. Here we go. And Martha Elegant Cake Art, there we go. There's a happy anniversary somewhere on this. Right in phrase. And I gotta find this silly thing. I think this is it. Now if you want to see the big size, hold down this button here. You know, this one up here, that one. Click on the one and it brings it up. Happy anniversary. And that's a nice one, but that's not the one I want. Okay, we need to find another one. It's got quite a few happy anniversaries in this one. And that's why I just want to find the right one. Happy birthday. That's the one I want. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. It's right here. I'm going to push that button down. Oops, wrong one. Happy anniversary. Isn't that pretty? Nice and big. Very scrolly. Looks nice. That's the one I want. So I'm going to take that and bring it over here. And I'm just going to bring it up a little bit, set it on here. Now this is the hardest thing about making a window card is grabbing all the different pieces. Oops. Blow it up. And look at, I'm going too far over. I'm going off the edge. So we want to make it a little bit smaller. Move it over to the right so we get it centered. And I think down a little bit more. However, it's too small here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the basic key, touch the height button, and increase the height. Just the height. Do you notice how I'm doing that? Now it's perfect. Okay? Now we're going to move that off to the side. Move it over here. I want to go back to this because I want to hide my score marks. Hide, next, hide. Okay. I don't like the little score marks. I'd rather score the car myself than have the little cuts in there. Now let's work on this happy anniversary. Notice how this corner is going to be very weak. Let me blow this up so you can see. See, there's nothing touching the corner here, and all we've got is this flapping here, the happy. The H is attached, but the APPY is not. It's attached only 3 little things onto the anniversary, which means it's going to be a very weak front of the card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a flower on it. And I'm just going to go to a basic flower and go over to George. There's this little flower there. G, George. And I'm not sure which one I want. This one. There's a little more meat to the flower. So, you know, the petals are thicker. And what I'm going to do is blow this up a little bit. And I think that's a little bit too big. And I'm going to attach it onto here. No, it needs to be a little bit bigger. That looks all about right there. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of looking at, I want it edged up with the Y right there. I don't want it to go over the H, and yet I want it to attach to the Y right there so that it gives it some stability. Now what I'm going to do, this is already highlighted, hit the highlight button, the group button, group it together, and I'm going to weld it. Okay? Done. Next thing I'm going to do is, and by the way, that was a 1.59 on that flower. I am going to go over and, while it's highlighted, hit the plus button and advance key, copy, so I have it on the second page. Now remember, I need 2 cards, so I'm automatically going to make 2 of these because I'm going to have it 2 up. Okay? Go back to my layer 1, hide layer 2 by touching the eyeball, and it makes it go away. Now, the tricky part is getting this to get centered on top of this card. And I've had times where I have the hardest time, and it'll take me 5-6 times to do it and to group it together, and other times where it happens just the first time. So just play with it. You've got the right size, you've got everything, just take it nice and slow and work with it. Okay? Now, once it is sitting on top of the card, remember this, once it's sitting on top of the card, then I want you to just use your arrow keys to maneuver that happy anniversary. Okay? So, we've got it on there, and this, I think I'm going to be one of the lucky times here. And I want to kind of get it centered on the window. And notice how it's kind of touching, and I know I've already got a problem. And I might as well just go back because I'm never going to get it done. Move this off to the side. Touch my happy. I've got to get the little circle out of the flower, otherwise it's going to cut the base of the card. And did you see this little circle on the A right there? That's going to show up too. So I'm going to hide 3 little circles. That, and the Y down there, because I think that they might show up. So we're going to use the hide, and we've got the right one. Then we're going to go over here to the Y and that little circle and hide that, because otherwise it's going to cut the base of the card and cut a hole right through it, and we don't want it to do that. Now I'm going to touch the flower, and we're going to leave the hole in the flower, because I don't think that went over. We'll go back. We might have to bring it back out again. Now, highlight. No, we're going to have to hide it. Okay, go back. I wasn't sure, and the only way you can tell is if you look at it. Okay, hide the little circle. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. I know already what I'm going to do. Now, make sure that you bounce back out, because otherwise that little flower is going to be moving and not the rest. Okay, so now we're going to move it over. and we can't really see whether it's centered properly because it's so doggone small. So hold your the button top left silver button down. If you're left-handed, then it would be the top right, and then pan over a little bit so you can get this centered. And oh my goodness, I did a pretty good job. I just have to move it a little bit. Move it up now. Now I've got the happy anniversary centered in the front of the card. So now this is already highlighted. So all you have to do at this point, go to your basic, touch the group button, this button right here, and touch the base of the card. Now it's all grouped together as one group. Go to the advanced, touch the weld, and just to double check it to make sure it looks fine and it's going to cut properly, touch that little eyeball, and look at that. We're going to have a perfect cut. Can you believe it? I got it on almost the first try. So that's all you have to do on that. Take off the eyeball, zoom out. Now grab your card. It's already highlighted. Or let's do it. Highlighted. Hit the copy button. And you've got a whole nother card. And just slide it over. That's simple. Can you stand it? And you've got two cards made. Just that simple. That's the base of your card. Now let's go back to layer 2. Hide layer 1. We've already got the happy anniversary, which is the base, and that'll go all in one color. And what we need to do now is and that's going to be glued on. Now the hole's still on there, which is fine. We need to make a flower. We need 4 of them because I'm going to put one in the inside of both of them. 2, 3, 4, and it was 1.59. So go over here, make sure your link button is on, and change this to 1.59. Okay, that's ready for cutting. And let's do another one. And I'm going to, now they've got a real neat feature here. They've got an outline, or what they call a silhouette feature, okay, on the George cart. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it'll just outline the flower so that we can take and we can set it on the outside, and it's really cool. So, but we need to change the size to make it match 1.59. Okay. Wonderful. We're ready for a cut. All that needs to happen now is we need to save it, and it's good to cut. Now, wasn't that simple? We need you to do a window card. I don't care what kind of window card. Just do a window card and link it up. It's so simple, but may I always suggest to you, when you do something like this, double it up. You're going to use that 12 by 12 sheet of paper anyway. You might as well double it up, and even if you only have one anniversary coming up, you take one, you send it out to that person, and the second one you put in your stash, and you got it ready for the next anniversary that pops up, and you don't have to stop everything and make another card because you already have one in your stash. Okay? Can't wait to see what you do, and be sure to look at the second part because it'll put it together. I didn't do, I know what I should tell you. I'm going to use a double-sided printed pattern paper, but I didn't do anything for the inside because I got a bunch of white. I take any leftover of my white cardstock and any cardstock I have, and I just put it in an envelope, a plastic envelope, and when I need something for a sentiment area on the inside of my card, I just reach into my stash and I grab it and I just hand cut the pieces. I don't put it on the Gypsy anymore because I don't need it. I mean, I've got such a large stash of just stock paper that are just pieces that I've been using. So whatever works for you. You have a wonderful day. Be sure to watch the part 2 of this video so you can see how to set it up. Thank you. Bye now.